Hi, I'm Brad Young with the North Carolina Institute of Political Leadership. I'm joined today by Billy Warden of GBW Strategies, a public relations firm here in North Carolina, and also proud to say that Billy is a member of the IOPL faculty, helping our fellows construct a stump speech for their campaigns each session. But today, Billy's here to talk about an article that he wrote about media training and the Netflix movie that inspired it. So, Billy, thank you so much for being here. We're looking forward to today's discussion.
You, Brad, and thanks for having me. It's always great to be part of the Institute's programming. Love it, and so many great folks involved. Absolutely. This article and the impetus for the article is all about making the most of your moment when the cameras start to roll. And even more than public speaking, even more than the stump speeches, I find in my work that folks feel daunted by, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a television interview. I'm doing a big press interview. How do I make this work? The thought of going on there, being peppered with all kinds of questions, only having a few minutes to make the point can be super intimidating. And I was delighted when my wife Lucy and I turned on Netflix not long ago and found Don't Look Up, the movie about two stroppy scientists trying to warn the world that an asteroid will imminently destroy the entire planet, and finding the world very confused and indifferent. And one of the greatest parts of the movie, funniest parts, especially the folks maybe in messaging and marketing, is that media training is a consistent boogeyman in the movie. The scientists keep hearing that they need media training. They're utterly clueless about what that might mean. So I thought, oh, this is a great opportunity to talk about the very basics of what media training is.
Well, let's get to some of those basics, shall we? And the first of which,
simplify. Thank you, Brad. Absolutely. The scientists in Don't Look Up dither where they should dart. When you get that first question in your TV interview, let's say, you've got to come out strong, explaining a little bit about who you are, but most importantly, why you're on camera. What is the big idea? And explain that as simply as possible. There's really not much more to say about that point. We ought to keep it simple. When that camera light rolls, you deliver the top line of your message, period.
well, on that note, we'll go to the second one, organize.
Not everything, Brad, is so simple. While you need to have a big idea that you state clearly when you get that first question, there are going to be follow-up questions. And so a media training will take you through the best way to present, the clearest way to present some of the more complicated responses. So in Don't Look Up, of course, the scientists get a lot of questions, such as, how far away is this asteroid? How do you know that this asteroid is going to hit our planet? And are you saying we're all going to die? So those are some complicated, fraught questions. And a media training would help these scientists figure out, this question is coming. Here's the three things I can say very simply to respond to that question in a way that's useful to the audience and that helps me get my points across and keep my audience watching, not getting confused.
And then our third point, focus.
Yeah, focus. The scientists in Don't Look Up are always getting distracted. Just the bells and whistles of the studio distract them when they go to their first TV interview. They're always being distracted by ancillary activity. You've got to focus when you go to talk to the media on what your mission is, no matter what's happening around you, and no matter what kind of curveball questions you might get. Sometimes these scientists get distracted by questions about their failing marriage or their sometimes strange choices in fashion. They're not fashionistas. they're scientists, and this stuff all throws them off course. Whereas when they get one of those questions, their mission ought to be, I'm not really here to talk about that today, but let's get back to that asteroid barreling toward Earth, about to destroy the entire planet. So focus is about knowing what your mission is in an interview and always going back to that mission.
And our fourth point, and this is probably one of the bigger challenges that scientists might face when doing press tours, be human.
Yeah, the goal of media training is not to make robots, message automatons out of the spokespeople. In fact, just the opposite. It should free up the spokesperson to be able to relate in a human way. You go into the interview knowing, here's the big idea I've got to put across, and put across strong. Here's how I'm going to organize my responses to complicated questions I might get. Okay, I feel like I've got a good structure. Now, how can I relate to the audience as a human being? What kind of human stories can I add to this from my own experience that will make me more relatable so the audience wants to listen? The audience doesn't want to listen to a robot. The audience wants a person. They just need that person to be clear and concise and compelling. And our humanity is what makes us compelling.
And finally, closing the article when you were wrapping it up, and we'll share it in the show notes, but you had 3 points that I thought were particularly impactful that I wanted to share here as well.
It's not show and tell, it's know and tell. Know the audience. Who are you talking to? How much do these folks don't know about the issue? That's going to inform a lot about how you approach it. Know the audience. Know the mission. What are you there to do? What kind of action do you want to drive? What do you want your audience walking away thinking and talking about? What's your mission? And know the facts. Be organized with how you want to present your case, your argument, your set of information, so that it is as clear and as sticky as possible. And if you can do all those things, and we've all seen folks who are really good at it, and we've all seen some folks who aren't good at it, but if you can do it, that's how you can make an asteroid-sized positive impact.
Well said. Well said. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Billy, and talking through some of the finer points of this article. And finally, someone can publicize some things for Netflix. Maybe they can turn their profit numbers around, and people, this whole Netflix thing will catch on, because otherwise, who knows? Yeah. Well, thank you again. We do appreciate your time, and appreciate all the time that you've spent with our fellows in the fellows program and being a part of our faculty. We look forward to bringing many more of your articles and wisdom to our YouTube channel and all of our social media channels in the future as well.
Thank you, Brad. The pleasure is all mine.